My name is Alex, and I'm about to tell you something that might sound dramatic, but I promise it's true. The first $10,000 you save will change your life more than any other money milestone you'll ever hit. Not $100,000, not your first million, your first 10 grand. If you're someone who feels like saving money is impossible, like you're constantly starting over, or like you'll never get ahead financially, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Because today, I'm going to show you exactly why $10,000 is the magic number, what it actually does to your brain, and the exact roadmap to get there. Here's the thing. Most people focus on the wrong number. They think, I need to save $1,000 for an emergency fund. Okay, cool. But $1,000 doesn't actually change anything. One car repair and it's gone. One medical bill and you're back to zero. Or they think, I need to become a millionaire. Great goal. But that's so far away that it doesn't feel real. Your brain can't connect with it. It's like saying you want to climb Mount Everest when you've never even hiked before. But $10,000? That's the sweet spot. It's big enough to matter. It's small enough to achieve. And here's what most people don't realize. It's the psychological turning point that changes everything about how you think about money. Let me explain the psychology behind this because it's fascinating. When you have less than $10,000 saved, your brain operates in what I call survival mode. Every unexpected expense feels like a crisis. Your car breaks down, panic, your laptop dies, stress. Someone invites you to a wedding. You're calculating if you can afford the gift. You're constantly reacting. You're constantly worried. And here's the killer. When your brain is in survival mode, it makes terrible long-term decisions because it's focused on just getting through today. But something interesting happens when you hit $10,000. Your brain shifts into builder mode. Suddenly, you're not just surviving, you're planning. You're not just reacting, you're strategizing. A study from the Journal of Economic Psychology found that people with at least $10,000 in savings reported significantly lower financial stress and made better long-term financial decisions compared to those with less. It wasn't about the amount itself, it was about the psychological safety net it created. So what actually changes when you hit this number? Let me break it down. First, emergencies stop being emergencies. Your car needs $800 in repairs? Annoying, but not catastrophic. You can handle it without going into debt, without putting it on a credit card, without asking family for money. That shift, from oh no to okay, I got this, that's huge for your mental health. Second, you stop making desperate decisions. When you're broke, you take the first job offer, even if it sucks. You stay in situations that drain you because you can't afford to leave. But with $10,000, you have options. You have breathing room. You can make decisions based on what's best for your future, not just what gets you through the month. Third, you start seeing opportunities instead of just problems. Before $10,000, everything feels like a threat. After $10,000, you start noticing chances to invest, to learn, to grow. Your brain literally processes information differently when it's not in constant fear mode. But here's where it gets really interesting. The first $10,000 is the hardest money you'll ever save. I'm not exaggerating. Saving your first $1,000 feels impossible because you're fighting against everything. You're fighting against your habits. You're fighting against emergencies. You're fighting against the fact that you've never done this before. But here's what happens. Every $1,000 you save builds momentum. $1,000 to $2,000 is hard. $2,000 to $3,000 is slightly easier. By the time you hit $7,000 or $8,000, you're unstoppable. You've built the discipline. You've built the systems. You've proved to yourself that you can do this. And once you hit $10,000, getting to $20,000 feels easier than getting from $0 to $10,000. I've seen this pattern hundreds of times. The people who struggle to save their first $5,000 will often save the next $50,000 within a few years. Because saving money isn't really about money. It's about identity. And at $10,000, you've officially become someone who saves. That identity shift, that's what changes everything. Now, here's the part nobody talks about. The biggest threat to your $10,000 isn't emergencies, it's you. Once you start accumulating money, Your brain does this sneaky thing where it thinks, oh, I have money now. I can afford to spend a little more. You upgrade your apartment. You buy a nicer car. You start going out more because I can afford it now. And before you know it, your $10,000 becomes $7,000, then $5,000, then you're back to zero wondering what happened. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's the silent killer of wealth building. The people who successfully build wealth aren't the ones who earn the most. They're the ones who protect their savings like it's sacred. Here's my rule. Once you hit $10,000, that money is locked. It's not spending money. It's not, I finally have enough to buy that thing I wanted money. It's your foundation. It's your safety net. It's your ticket to builder mode. You want to spend more? Fine, earn more, but don't touch the $10,000. Okay, so let's talk real numbers. How long does this actually take? If you can save $200 per month, you'll hit $10,000 in about 50 months, roughly 4 years. If you can save $400 per month, you'll get there in about 2 years. If you can swing $800 per month, you're looking at just over a year. Now, I know what you're thinking. Alex, I can barely save $50 a month. This is going to take forever. And look, maybe it will take longer than you want. But here's what I need you to understand. 4 years is going to pass whether you save the money or not. You can be 4 years older with $10,000 in the bank, or you can be 4 years older still living paycheck to paycheck. The time will pass anyway. Use it. Here's your roadmap. This is the exact system that works. Step 1. Automate everything. On the day you get paid, money automatically moves to your savings account. Not when you remember. Not when you feel like it. Automatically. If you don't see the money, you don't spend it. This is the single most important step. Step 2. Start with whatever you can, even if it's $25 per week. The amount doesn't matter at first. What matters is building the habit. You're training your brain to prioritize saving. Start small, then increase as you can. Step 3. Track your milestones. Celebrate $1,000. Celebrate $2,500. Celebrate $5,000. These aren't just numbers. They're proof that you're doing something most people never do. Acknowledge your progress. Step 4. Protect it like your life depends on it. When emergencies happen, and they will, you decide if it's a real emergency or just an inconvenience. Real emergency, medical bill, car repair you need for work. Not an emergency, concert tickets, new phone because yours is old, vacation because you deserve it. Step 5. Find ways to accelerate. Sell stuff you don't use. Pick up a side gig for 3 months. Cut one major expense temporarily. Every extra $500 you can throw at this goal shaves months off your timeline. Let me tell you the 3 mistakes that reset people's progress, because I see these constantly. Mistake 1. The celebration splurge. You hit $5,000 and you think, I've been so good with money, I deserve to treat myself. So you blow $2,000 on something stupid. Now you're back to $3,000, and psychologically, it feels like you're starting over. Don't do this. Celebrate with a $50 dinner, not a $2,000 purchase. Mistake 2. The false emergency. You dip into your savings for things that aren't actually emergencies. A sale on something you've wanted, a trip your friends are taking, a great deal you can't pass up. If it's not health, housing, or transportation, it's not an emergency. Learn the difference. Mistake 3. The lifestyle upgrade. You get a raise. Instead of saving more, you spend more. Your $10,000 goal gets pushed back another year because you needed a nicer apartment or car. The goal isn't to live like you're broke forever. The goal is to get to $10,000 first, then upgrade your life sustainably. So what actually happens when you hit this number? First, you breathe differently. I'm not being poetic, I mean literally. Your nervous system calms down. You sleep better. You make clearer decisions. Financial stress affects everything in your life, and $10,000 is the antidote. Second, you negotiate differently. You can ask for that raise because you're not desperate. You can leave a toxic job because you have a runway. You can start a side business because you have a cushion if it takes time to work. Third, you start playing offense instead of defense. Before $10,000, you're defending against life. After $10,000, you're looking for ways to win. You notice investment opportunities. You see ways to earn more. Your brain shifts from, how do I survive this month, to, How do I build something? And here's the beautiful part. Once you've saved $10,000, saving the next $10,000 feels almost easy. You've built the muscle. You know you can do hard things. You've proved to yourself that you're someone who finishes what they start. But here's what I think is most important, and this is the part that changed my entire perspective on money. Saving $10,000 isn't really about the money. It's about who you become in the process. When you start, you're someone who's never saved significant money. You might doubt yourself. You might think, people like me don't do this. But every month that you choose to save instead of spend, you're casting a vote for a new identity. And by the time you hit $10,000, you're not the same person who started. You're someone who sets goals and achieves them. You're someone who delays gratification. You're someone who makes long-term decisions. You're someone who does hard things. That identity, that shift from I'm bad with money to I'm someone who builds wealth, that's worth more than the $10,000 itself. Look, I get it. $10,000 might not sound like life-changing money. You're not retiring on it. You're not buying a house with it. You're not quitting your job. But that's not the point. $10,000 is your base camp. It's where you learn the skills you need for the bigger climbs. It's where you prove to yourself that you can do this. It's where you build the foundation that everything else is built on. Every wealthy person I've ever studied had a moment where they went from reactive to strategic, from surviving to building, from hoping to planning. For most of them, that moment happened somewhere around their first $10,000. It's not about the amount. It's about the momentum. It's about the mindset. It's about becoming the kind of person who builds wealth instead of just wishes for it. So here's what I want you to do. Today. Right now. First, decide that you're doing this. Not, I'll try. Not, maybe someday. Decide. This is your goal. You're going to save $10,000, and you're not going to stop until you get there. Second, set up automation today. Log into your bank, set up an automatic transfer to savings. Even if it's just $50 per paycheck. Do it now before you forget, before you talk yourself out of it. Third, write down your why. Why does this matter to you? Is it so you can sleep at night? So you can leave a bad job? So you can stop feeling powerless? Write it down. When it gets hard, and it will get hard, you'll need to remember why you started. I know 2 to 4 years sounds like a long time. It is a long time. But let me give you some perspective. 2 years from now, you can either have $10,000 in the bank and complete financial peace of mind, or you can still be stressed about money, still living paycheck to paycheck, still wondering when things will get better. The time is going to pass anyway. Use it. And here's the thing. Most people spend decades worrying about money, decades feeling stressed, feeling stuck, feeling like they're barely keeping their head above water. If you can trade 2 to 4 years of focused effort for a lifetime of financial stability, isn't that worth it? Here's what I know. The people who build wealth aren't smarter than you. They're not luckier than you. They didn't have some secret advantage. They just decided to start. They saved their first $10,000, and once they did that, everything else became possible. Your first $10,000 is waiting for you. It's not going to be easy. You'll have setbacks. You'll have months where you can't save as much as you wanted. You'll be tempted to give up. But if you stick with it, if you automate, if you protect your progress, if you keep choosing your future over your present, you will get there. And when you do, you'll understand exactly what I mean when I say it changes everything. If this video motivated you to start your $10,000 journey, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I make videos like this every week, breaking down the psychology of money and giving you practical steps to build wealth. And drop a comment telling me, what's your current savings goal? Are you working toward your first $1,000, your first $10,000, your first $100,000? Let me know below. I read every comment and I want to hear about your journey. Remember, the first $10,000 is the hardest money you'll ever save, but it's also the most important. It's the foundation everything else is built on. Start today, automate it, protect it, and don't stop until you get there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.